What's going on, everybody? So now I'm going to give you guys a thorough breakdown to my sketchbook. All right, this is going to be a guide, the pros and cons when it comes down to big sketchbooks, little sketchbooks, and the whole 9 yards. All right, without further ado, let's get it started. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, people, don't forget. And this is the work I've done, all of the digital works I've done, see all that. And this is the camera angle that I use when it comes down to drawing in this perspective. All right, so let me give you the full view. All right, so this right here is what I call my flimsy sketchbook. All right, when I was in college, I had to take book binding class. That was a requirement. But yeah, the pages here are just 8.5 by 11 printing paper. So if you know how to book bind, you could literally just make your own sketchbook. And what I like about this is that it's modular, right? It's mobile. Like, you can literally fit this in your pocket if you want to. Like, you can just, this is some of the stuff I've done here, you know, with a ballpoint pen, just random doodles. And what's cool about this is that you can just fold it in half, right? Put it in your pocket, right? Or like a hoodie like this, you know, put it right here, and there you go. So everywhere, anywhere, every time, anywhere you go, you can just draw something from observation really quick, right? That's the cool thing about this. This is what I really like about the sketchbook. Now, here are the cons. Well, the biggest con is the simple fact that this, since it's folded, it's also bad because of the simple fact that it's not a hard cover. So when you're drawing, it's flimsy. You're like, you kind of need like a hard surface. If you're gonna stand and draw, it's gonna be quite difficult. You gotta try to use your hand as a support structure to draw with this, right? So this is actually best if you're sitting on a table, you know, coffee table or something like that, where you just want to quickly draw somebody, right? I didn't really use too much on this sketchbook, but it will be filled out over time. But I just wanted to show you guys this one here in terms of the pros and cons, right? So this is the flimsy mobile modular sketchbook, right? So let's move on. I'm about to fling it to you guys. All right, so this right here is old. What is this sketchbook, right? Can you even consider this a sketchbook? Now, this was back in high school. Like I said, guys, I'm going to give you guys a thorough breakdown. I have a lot of sketchbooks, so we're going to be going through each and every last one of them. All right, people? All right, so this one here, it's super old. This is when I was creating my own comic book at this time, drawing out of my head and just seeing where this goes. So see all this stuff here. This is back in high school, and I still have it. So yeah, just flipping through these, you know. Now I could tell you the good news and bad news when it comes down to this. Well, the good news is that it is small. As you can see, I didn't finish this. At this point, I was like, I'm done. I didn't finish these. You know, the good news that it's small. You could kind of fit this in a big pocket. If you have like a cargo pants, you could fit this. It's also really cheap, you know, because it's not technically a sketchbook, as you guys can see right here, right, with the lines. So it is cheap. You can get this in like some 99-cent store, and that's pretty much about it when it comes down to the pros. So let's talk about the cons. Well, the biggest con is that, you see, it's not a sketchbook. It's just, you see the lines there. That is quite distracting, especially if you want to make really interesting sketches. You don't want to have these lines right there because it's not made for that. This is more made for writing as opposed to drawing. So if you're someone who's like on a really tight budget, like, you know, most people, especially if you're in college or if you're in high school when you're not even working a 9-to-5, then yeah, I could recommend this, right? But if you're someone who wants to have it more of a higher grade, a little bit more professional, where you don't have to worry about these lines being so distracting, then I don't recommend this. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at these finished illustrations, do you actually really see the lines? I mean, look at it. You don't really see it that much, right? So it's all up to you. right? Use it at your discretion. So if you're putting in a lot of detail, it's not the worst thing in the world. So that's just up to you. But me personally, it depends on what stage you are as an artist. So that's that with this one. Cheapest one. Let's move on to this. All right. So this is when I was in college. There's another book binding. So if you want to be a little bit more sophisticated, this actually broke, by the way. It's then broke. It is what it is. This is like some sophisticated one where you can see the spines through here. Yeah. Tell me to do this now. That ain't happening. But anyway, speaking of this, if you're good with bookbinding, then you technically can just make your own sketchbook, just like with fine artists being able to build their own canvas instead of paying. Obviously, when you build something of your own, it's a lot cheaper than buying it already made, right? Anything is cheaper when you make it yourself or do it yourself, right? DIY. So looking at this, I don't even think I've really done any sketches with this back in college. A lot of this was using it, ironically, as writing. So sometimes sketchbook, people just use it as writing. There's a few sketches here, but overall, this sketchbook, if you want to save money, go right ahead, make your own in this type of size. Now, do I prefer this one over, where is it? Over this? Between these two, I'll choose this one. Why? Because this could fit in my pocket. I could go anywhere with this, right? And at the same time, it's not carrying any weight. So I could wear regular clothes, put this in my pocket if I want to draw something or something captures my inspiration or anything like that. Pull it out, draw it, done. This one here, this can't fit in my pocket. So it becomes a bit of a hassle. I got to bring like a fanny pack fanny pack, men's fanny pack, masculine fanny pack. Or, wear a book bag, or a bag. So it's going to be a bit annoying if you want to just, walk around freely without the need of that. So that's the only major con I have with this. And I'm just, wow, I really didn't use this. So this is something I'm going to fill up in the future. Definitely with this sketchbook. All right, let's move on. It's getting bigger and bigger, right? So here we go. This is a medium size. Now this sketchbook here, you see a lot of people have these type of sketchbooks, which is considered moleskin, right? These are moleskin sketchbooks. And I recently bought this, and I still have a long way to go. I bought this on Amazon, by the way. So you could get something like this on Amazon. I think I paid like $8, and it kind of shows. And let me tell you why. I'm personally, right, drawing all this stuff, I personally am not a big fan of this color. I like moleskin sketchbooks that's a bit more of a off-white, like a tan skin tone, well, a tan paper tone, right, rather than just being close to white. Because when I draw something, I want to actually have the tone paper, so I'm able to use colored pencils. It'll pop out more, right, because of the tone paper. So I'm not a big fan of this one. I wish I would have seen the interior before buying it, but it is what it is. So as you can see here, the colors are fine, don't get me wrong. I personally prefer it if it was more of a tone paper. It would have gave more volume to it. So that's that. And yeah, I have a long way to go. So this is one of those sketchbooks that you're gonna see me use this from time to time on this channel. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, good. $7 to $11 or $7 to $13. So definitely recommend it. Now, can this fit in your pocket? No. This is something where you either carry it with you while you're outside. You got this to help you out, the strap, so it doesn't just start flipping through. So that's cool. But at the same time, you just simply can't really walk around with this. And let's say if you want to put it away, you got to bring a bag, So still, I would prefer this, ironically, just because you can easily seal this in your pocket and you can just pull this out. This one here, it's not small enough for you to do that, but it's still good enough as far as like the amount of real estate you can do as far as, drawing with this. So I still like the sketchbook, and like I said, there's going to be more to come when it comes down to this. So let's move on. All right, this is an old school sketchbook right here. This is the OG black moleskin right here. This is the real deal, right? I prefer this one, honestly, just because I'm going to show you why. And this is like old school, like old high school drawings. I had this since high school, so that's that. But the paper is amazing. I like this paper color, right? This tone color. You could do so much with this, so much. Let me see if I have any, like, see, like it just looks so much richer. Like I just like the color. It gives that vintage feel, and you can just play around with it. Oh man, big fan of this. Okay, big man fun of this. And even with black and white, like you just have fun with this, especially with a ballpoint pen. So yeah, like half and halves, this is just stuff out of my head. Trying to look for One Piece, Gambit, and I believe this is all, this is all ballpoint. Yeah, this is all ballpoint, by the way, all ballpoint pens. Where is, I'm trying to find any ones with like color besides that. This is with marker, so that's color. So like, yeah, something cutesy, you could just, it just pops out more with the toned paper. So definitely get moleskin with the OG version like this, right? Go for this. So if I have to compare between this and this cheap one, right, on Amazon, definitely recommend this one over this one any single day. This right here is good to go. All right, so let's move on. And we got, bam, this is the bigger one. Okay, we getting bigger. We got from small to big. Now this here, obviously, since it's the OG, just like the same problem with this one over here, you really can't take this with you anywhere you go. So when you coming out with this, be prepared to be committed to be drawing over and over and over. Let's say, you have a social life. You want to hang out with your friends, and a majority of people around you are not artists. So you want to socialize with people, right? Then you got to either put this in your car or carry it around with you. It's like, unless you want to flex on them saying, hey, I'm an artist, look at my sketches. I mean, if you're really not in the mood for that, I really wouldn't bring this with you. This is a commitment, like both of these. These are commitment, like I'm going outside to the museum. I'm going outside to draw, like nothing else. While this one here, you could switch up. You're a hybrid. You're flexible like water. So that's why, if I have to compare, it's tough between this and this. I'll say this one just because of the tone paper in this sketch, the tone papers. I prefer this one over this. But other than that, this one here is just, it's the win between these three. This one wins by a hair between these two. So I like tone paper. Anyway, let's move on. Now we got the flimsy moleskin, but this one is larger. The larger version, right? Now I don't know where I bought this actually. This was back in college. I think I bought this in the art school. I don't think I bought. Yeah, I definitely didn't buy this online. Yeah, I bought this in some art store, right? So when I was in school, I bought this. All right. So this is, funny enough, a lot of my recent sketches is actually through this sketchbook. So all this recent stuff here that I showed on the channel, right? With Attack on Titan, all of these. And then the recent ones like these, right? This is the most recent one. And I still got a few more sketches to go when it comes down to this. Now, what I like about this is that it has the same type of tone paper, but it's not as dark. That's the only kickback. It's not as dark. However, I still like the tone paper color. I'm a big fan of that. Another pro, I should say also, is that I like that it's flimsy. I like that. So that means like you don't want to fold it to the point where it's like, it could mess up. But you could kind of get away with folding it a little bit and putting it into your back pocket. Not going to feel as comfortable. So that's that. But I still like the fact that it's flimsy and it's lightweight. So it doesn't, for this type of size, it's actually good, the fact that it's lightweight. So you can, take it with you. It's not too much of a hassle. However, you still going to need a bag, to bring it, whenever you're going outside. That's my only kickback with this. Even though it's light, that's the good news, that is light. So for this size, it's not gonna wear too much of a burden. So that's that. I mean, I really like this sketchbook. So if anybody, in terms of the perfect size, like Goldilocks, like for this one being the smaller size to this one, I'm gonna show you guys the next one, even bigger. I would say this is the perfect medium size, because you can get a lot of cool sketches from here, whether it's a face shot or so much real estate here where you can just play around with all of the negative space or whatever you want to do on each page. So this here is good. I like it. I can't really complain, other than it could be a hassle if you want to bring it with you, if you want to multitask. But if you're gun-ho on drawing people, this is good to go, right? Definitely good to go. So let's move on. Oh yeah, another con I should say too is that if you're someone that don't like something flimsy, you may not want to get this, obviously, because then let's say if you want to stand and draw, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem because it's flimsy. You don't got the structure like the smaller one here. That's a hard cover, where let's say if I want to draw something, I can just, have it like this, and bam, you see how structured that is? Boom, no problem. Hold it like that and draw. So this is the perfect thing if you want to stand outside and draw from like observation. So that's that, compared to the flimsy one. So now let's get bigger from this to this. It's so big that I can't even fully. Okay, I guess it does show the whole thing. All right, so now we got the large grande. We got the big one, big dog, right? I don't think I've done too many sketches with this one. Now the pros and cons, right? This is a hardcover. This is not moleskin, by the way, not moleskin. This is old, by the way. This one is old drawing, old sketch. This here is hardcover white paper, right? White 11 by 14, if I'm mistaken. This is a large size. Oh yeah, I did do a few drawings with this. This is when I was in a drawing dinosaurs, museums, all this stuff here. Now this has a lot of real estate. Okay, so if you're someone who is not a big fan of drawing so like drawing at this type of scale, this is great for people who like to draw landscapes. This is a good landscape sketchbook, and this is a good sketchbook if you like to draw so much in one page, right? On each paper. So, and this is also good for but this right here, if you're gonna draw from observation, is very difficult if you're standing while drawing. I've done that before with this, and my arms and my hands was killing me. So I don't recommend doing that. But this is perfect if you're gonna draw somebody from observation sitting down. If you're sitting down and you're drawing, whether it's somebody or a work of art in the museum, this is the perfect sketchbook if you want to do that, as well as, like I said before, as well as landscapes. So that's that. But as you can see, this is what for ballpoint pen right here. I've been wasting paper on this because I'm like, look at all this negative space, and I just drew this guy right here, you know. Just out of my head, just having fun with face expressions and all that stuff. And again, like, so much space. So I'm more of like technical detail, but on a smaller scale. So nowadays, but back then I wasn't really like that. Back then I'm gonna show you how I was before. But yeah, all in all, like this here, this again, drawing dinosaurs from observation with a ballpoint pen. This is really good for stationary, right? If you're drawing something that's not gonna move, or if you have somebody that's willing to sit down and it's already pre-planned, like it's not impromptu. You ask them, hey, I'm gonna draw you, just stay right there, and they're gonna do that for you as a model. But if it's gonna be like quick drawings from observation, just make sure you're gonna be drawing a lot of people on one page. You can't really commit towards so much detail because of all of the real estate on this sketchbook. So that's that. What else did I do here? I don't really... Oh yeah, I already showed that. Another thing just out of my head. So yeah, like this sketchbook is really good. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff with this because there's so many pages that I haven't touched upon here, but it's gonna be more of like finished works of art on each page, right? So all in all, this is a very good sketchbook. I already said what I need to say. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but let's move on to something where I did invest a lot into a sketchbook this exact size. So let me show you that right now. Same size. This is big, right? Big size. Someone helped me out as far as the binding because it was breaking apart. All right, so let's show you what I'm talking about. I thought this. Yeah, a lot of stuff here. This is very way back in the days. Let me just flip through. Wow. A lot of stuff. This is over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago. So yeah, I guess, so even with this one, right? You know, I'm trying to give you like a very good example. I'm going to fast forward. So remember I just said by drawing from observation, if you go to do that with this type of size, make sure you're drawing so many people on one page. This is what I mean by that. Random stuff I was doing. So this is what I also mean by making a finished work of art when it's a large size. Right. This is funny because I actually redone this actual sketch. I was over 10 years old, and let me show you the modern version of that, the most recent version. It should be in here. There it is. Old version and then the updated version. So sometimes it's good to just like, and this is what I mean by the color. You see, with the tone paper, you're able to just get more of that dramatic value compared to the white paper, right? With the white paper, just you got to put more work into coloring compared to the tone paper. So that's that. Yeah, tell me to draw something like this now, you'll be out of your mind. I don't have patience to draw like this anymore unless you pay me. This was the young ambitious, just coming up with a concept of apocalyptic, seeing the scene as it happens, and perspective is all over the place, but it doesn't matter. It's about the ambition and the amount of passion you put into it, right? So this have all with a ballpoint pen, and I show you, like, you don't need to buy expensive stuff. Ballpoint pen is this, you know, you can get this anywhere from Staples. You don't need to go to no art supply store, and then you can just do whatever you can with it. You can do a lot with it, right? This is with blue ballpoint pen with Copic markers. If you're gonna, this is me experimenting, right? Really happy the way this came out. However, be careful with mixing a pen with markers because the markers are gonna mess up over time. So just keep that in mind, right? This is what I mean by making a finished work of art on each page when you're dealing with a large size. And this is from observation over 10 years ago, you know, with the ballpoint pen and markers. I'll show you a few other stuff. I don't know what I was thinking. You could tell this is so old because it was flip phones at that time. People don't have flip phones anymore. And even concepts like this too, right? This is with same thing, blue pen and markers, right? I was hooked on this. But anyway, you could make a lot of. That's another thing that just reminded me about flipping through this, right? It's almost like an album. That's the cool thing about sketchbooks. It's like you could go back to your old stuff and then you just kind of get back your memory. Like, oh yeah, I forgot I did this. Right? So with this, right, as an example of me talking while showing you guys, right, show and tell. You can make a lot of, with this type of size, you should have no problem drawing from head to toe of characters, right? So if you want to make different character designs, right, like stuff like this, I drew these out of my head. You can literally draw them from head to toe, right? With these type of characters. So it's a lot easier. This broke. It's a lot easier to do that with a larger sketchbook compared to a smaller one, right? Look at the huge difference between this and then this. This is so like, it's gonna be hard to draw someone from head to toe compared to something this large. Not only that, but you could draw them from so many different angles, right? 3/4 view, back quarter view, and so forth. Here, you know, head to toe, give you guys that example. And then, of course, making finished works of art, you could do that on here as well, right? What I love about drawing with like a ballpoint pen is that no matter what happens through the test of time, it's not gonna mess up because it's ink. But if you draw with a pencil, if you don't use that particular spray to spray it, right, it's going to decay over time. So this is what I really like about drawing with a ballpoint pen. And random stuff. All right, so that's pretty much that. I like to make long format videos with no editing because it's more authentic rather than like jump cuts to try to appeal towards people with low attention span. So that's that. So yeah, let me just show you. So there's a huge difference between these size, like this one showing you guys all my sketch. I even got more sketchbooks than this, but I'd rather show you guys the main ones. So between these big ones here, then you got the medium one, right? You got from big to medium, and then from medium to small medium, which is a lot of people have these sizes anyway. These right. Actually, no, go from that to this, right? Then you got this, which is more like 8.5 by 11, right? And then you got these. There you go. So many, right? So which one is your favorite size? Let me know down below. What is your ideal sketchbook, right? And again, I do a lot of different content out here, right? I do a lot of digital art. I will, and also do traditional art as well. So if you're new to the channel, definitely show your support. Do a lot of stuff like this here. I'm using myself as reference and transform myself into these illustrations. So if you have any ideas or suggestions of what's the next one, let me know down below. And also ideas of sketches too. It doesn't necessarily have to be digital. So let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching this video unedited, like how I always do it majority of the time. Take care, stay safe, and also before I go, which one is your favorite sketch that you guys seen throughout all of these here? Which one is your favorite artwork you guys seen? So let me know also down below. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.